All right, and here we go, our third quarterfinal matchup of today's full day of basketball, featuring the number 3 seed Lincoln Prep Huskies against the 6 Bill Crothers Colts. We get started, and Lincoln gets a good shot right at the basket there for Martindale. And here comes Crothers with the ball. Woo! Oh, a little sizzle from Grizzle early on here with a little lefty action.
Yeah, great finish. I think both teams will like this. We thought this last game they get their first touch of something at the rim. This one, Grizzle creates her own little hesitation, gets back to it.
Pokranik probing, finds Martindale wide open, unable to hit that. Fight for the board. Alexander and Maskwich is able to tip it off Alexander and out of bounds. It's going to remain here with Lincoln Prep.
Some great athletes in this game and some high motors going towards the offensive glass. So this will be a fun one to watch for rebounding both ends.
Hall bottled up there. Parkinick back over to Hall, though. Gets it off right before the buzzer, no good. The follow, though, Maskwich gets a hand on it. Her shot's no good. Jump ball here is going to be between Grizzle and Martindale. It's going to go over to Bill Crothers.
Yeah, I think this battle on the glass is going to continue all game. I think it's going to go both ways. There are some great athletes in it, but also some very high motor athletes on both sides. I think Maskwich, Wright, Alexander all continue to go rebound on every possession. I think this will be a fun one to watch.
Here's Lincoln Prep setting up in the full court pressure. Grizzle over the top to right. They have numbers now. They get to Alexander with the mismatch down low. Finishes over top of Martindale.
I think nice patience there by Alexander. Sometimes you get out in transition that way and you get a catch by the rim and you almost rush. You're not quite sure where you are. She does a nice job finding out exactly where she is in relation to the rim, getting herself on balance, and then in control, putting the shot up. She had the size and strength advantage in there on that catch and made sure she utilized that.
I was going to say, pretty good job there by Wright. Also, as tip, she was able to corral it, set it up, take as a forward, set up this 3-on-2 break, got Alexander a good look right at the basket with the mismatch. So, good job her taking control of the offense. Woo! Maskwich long stepping around the defense to the rim.
Nice finish, Maskwich. Had it going across the rim, had the defense respecting her going across the rim, able to reach back across her body. It's outside the frame. Nice soft touch putting on the glass.
Again, Crothers able to handle that pressure. Grizzle right in the lane, finishes plus the foul.
Yeah, you like the mentality early for Grizzle. She's gotten a couple touches now. Both of them have gone downhill, going directly towards the rim, forcing the issue. So you're heading a straight line. Defense often gets their hands on. You're trying to get a foul, or trying to get their hands on the ball, and Grizzle will turn both those into a foul drawn.
And Grizzle able to hit. You can see so far this game, Grizzle's big mentality. She's gotten into the lane twice. She's picked up on defense, stepped in there to draw Maskwich. She's tuned in here early, ladies and gents. That's what you need if you're Crothers. Martindale gets the left hand. Looks like it's blocked there by Wright. It was. Yep, we're going to get that confirmed. So it will remain here. Lincoln Prep ball, 3 on the shot clock.
This will be a big challenge for Alexander if she's going to be pulled away from the basket all game and forced to guard Maskwich on the three-point line.
Good defense there. Good job by Crothers forcing the shot clock. It's going to switch over.
And Alexander's a great defender in this league and is very effective in ball screen defense, can move with guards, but it is a different look to get Maskwich, who's a face-up forward from the three-point line, and have to guard that for the entire game.
Something that Lincoln Prep might want to look at. They've thrown over the top of this press now 3 straight times. Got down's a good look. Right back again. Got the ball. Maskwich with a block of her own. But they're going to want to make it tougher on Crothers to get that inbounds instead of just right over the top. Woo. Good tip. Trying to get to Alexander. Grizzle. Ooh, lefty this time, and it's good.
Grizzle, nice job there. Again, putting the head down, getting around some of the defense, but love this one there. She gets herself underneath the rim. Instead of going for a reverse, the defense was waiting. She actually goes to the front of the rim with the lefty, scoops it up on top. Creative finish, nice touch.
Pokranik in the lane, good defense there by Crothers. Both Todd and Alexander. Here's Maskowicz with Downs on her. Kicks out a long two by Pockernick. Too strong. Alexander brings down that miss. Good defense here by Lincoln Prep. She's able to pass out of it. We're going to get the foul drawn first. So it's going to remain here Crothers ball.
Yeah, and that one, I think they had Maskowicz, so they came with the second defender, almost kind of doubled her down the post, and they had her turned the wrong way, but, I mean, credit to her, she's still able to find a way with left-handed to make a pass out of that double team and find an open shooter, so we'll see Crothers' comfort level sending two at her, especially if she can pass through the double team and find open opportunities outside of it.
Kubo checked in for Pockernick on that last break for Lincoln Prep. Here's Downs trying to find Alexander. Maskowicz comes away. We're going to get a jump ball. It's going to go over to Lincoln.
Yeah, this game's got a lot of fighting in it early, which is great to see. Both teams, putting bodies on the glass. Both teams fighting for loose balls. Both teams trying to compete for shots going at the rim. It's going to be a physical battle.
Here's Balbicuba using the screen by Maskowicz. Kick out a Martindale three, and it's good.
Emily Martindale for three.
Back the other way. Todd gets in the lane, tries to find Wright with the mismatch down low. Mishandled, though. It's going to be picked off by Martindale. We're going to pick up a foul also on Wright, so it's going to go back over Lincoln Prep's way. It's Michaela Ennis. Downs on her now. Great cut by Martindale right to the rim. We're going to draw the foul, so she'll head to the line. Some big plays here early on for Martindale.
Yeah, nice job, I thought, by Ennis. She comes off that high ball string against the zone and gets deep enough. She ensures she holds her dribble long enough that the middle defender in the zone has to step up to respect the penetration coming at. Once Ennis feels that, then she bounces to Martindale, who's now cutting below the defender. Defender's going to turn, close out, and ends up fouling. So I thought the ball carrier coming in there did a real nice job of pulling the defender before making the pass.
Martindale goes 1 for 2. We're going to get a foul there on Maskowicz on the rebound.
Fouls on Brittany Maskowicz. It's her first foul, team foul number 3.
It's Grizzle bringing it up for Crothers. Pressured here by Balabiakubo. Switch now with Maskowicz. Thought about stepping into the three. Kicked out Aruda. Alexander now looking to work down low. The double comes. Kick out. Long two by Wright. Just rattles off the follow by Aruda. Too strong.
There are bodies flying everywhere. This is great. I mean, it's a true battle, I think, on every possession right now.
Maskowicz the fill behind three, and she hits in transition.
Yeah, I like this job by Ennis again, too. She in transition. She feels a bit how the defense is playing, gets herself to the middle of the floor. That created the collapse of the defense. That created the space for Maskowicz. Maskowicz just kind of fills into the slot and gets a kick out for an open three.
It's going to be a foul there on Balabiakubo on Grizzle's drive, so she's going to head to the line for 2. We're going to get Barbieri check in for Wright. It's a bit of a smaller look here for Crothers. We're going to get Cleland checking in for Martindale.
It's her first team foul number 4.
And Nichols checking in for Hall. Hits both. Balabiakubo probing, gets in the lane and finishes with the left.
Yeah, nice read there. I felt there was a lot of screen action happening on the outside, but no one really came to help on the drive. So instead of forcing the pass to the outside, Balabiakubo just gets herself to the rim and finishes.
Barbieri drives baseline, kicks out to Downs. Now it's up top for Grizzle. She gets in the lane. Hangs in the air, can't finish. Aruda, though, another offensive rebound. Her putback again too strong. Alexander comes in with this miss. Woo. Challenges the defense. Another offensive rebound. Oh. Ennis is going to clean this one up for Lincoln.
We've seen Ennis. She is just so great in transition. You know, this one not going the way we want, but over the last couple of years, we've seen Ennis in the OSBA. If you can get her out in space and get her ahead of steam, how creative she can be, her ability to finish in transition, finish in crowds.
That one there, tried to go over the top. It was good defensive job there by Lincoln, able to tip that away. It's going to remain here, Lincoln ball 18 on the shot clock. Kubo driving, going to be defended there by Todd. We're going to get the foul before the shot. So it's going to be Todd picking up her first.
Fouls on Tiana Todd. It's her first foul, team foul, number 3.
Vaskowicz, good job with the one-on-one. Loses control of the ball, though it's going to go back over to Crothers. Todd with a little behind the back, gets in the lane, finishes, plus the foul.
Oh, nice little job there. Todd, it really felt like she was going across towards the sideline, but as soon as the defender tried to jump to the around the back, switching direction, real athletic play, then gets in the key and just floats to the defense. So great look there from Todd. Yeah, great shot.
Tiana Todd shooting 1.
And hits a free throw. Bobby Kubo gets in the lane, going to draw the foul. She'll go to the line for 2.
Both teams doing a nice job early on establishing that their offensive actions are going to the rim. They get bodies, touches inside, bodies going to the rim, put their head down and getting themselves to the rim, and that's created opportunities to get to the free throw line. So most games, to get a little consistency to your offense, when things are going great, that's great. You can shoot the jump shots, but make sure when in the tougher stretches, you want to get a couple trips to the free throw line and keep some points going on the board. And I think both teams have established that early within their offensive package.
Good job there. Turkstra to deny that for Lincoln. Aruda, here's Todd on the wing against Hall. Tries to dump it off to right. Good job, Nichols stepping in.
They really wanted, you could feel Crothers really wanted to get the ball to right there. She had a guard on her. I thought that was a matchup they wanted. They tried her at the elbow. Wright did a nice job slipping herself down to the rim, but they couldn't get an angle to get the ball inside and probably ultimately tried to force it and resulted in the turnover.
Foul is on Callie Wright. It's her second. We're in the penalty. Substitutions on the court.
Again, Lincoln remains in that pressure. Here's Grizzle. Good job, Alexander, using the screen to get her open. Little hesitation, got her right by the defense. Good job getting to the left hand, just can't finish. Turnover there for Lincoln. It's going to go back the other way to Crothers. Is Alexander going to bring it up, and it's going to draw the foul there on Turkstra. And with bonus, she's going to go right down the other way to shoot some free throws.
Yeah, with the aggressive nature of this game here early on, it's put a lot of fouls on the board for both teams, and there's going to be a bit of a consideration, I guess, for both coaches now going to the second quarter of how they manage some of these fouls and how that affects some of their playing rotations. I mean, we've already seen Wrights had to go to the bench, and we'll see if that continues to affect her in the second quarter, and if that trickle effect goes over to the Lincoln side as well.
Good steal there as Grizzle just picks Pocknick's pocket. Gets in the lane trying to work around Granum. The right hook is no good. Fight for the rebound. Turkstra comes up with it. It's going to go off bounds off of Grizzle, though it's going to remain down here with Lincoln. Crothers goes to a zone look here now on the defensive end. Lincoln tries to find Granum, passes too far out of reach. Here's Grizzle in transition against Hall. Long stepping right to the left hand, just too strong. Gucker-Wicki comes down with it. And we're going to get a foul.
And again, with both teams just chasing so much and being so physical, it's actually just created both the foul trouble and a lot of bonus here in the first quarter. So both teams now shooting free throws and changing probably a bit of the flow of the game here early on.
And able to hit from the line here for Lincoln.
Substitution of the court.
Jaglal there just checked in, going to pick up the travel, trying to make something happen against the Lincoln defense. Going to go back over Lincoln. Lincoln leads this one by 1 here, 2:45 to go in the first. Crothers remains in this zone defense. Lincoln just subbed in their shooter, McGrath. She takes a quick one for 3. It's too strong. Alexander comes down with it. Now Crothers has numbers. Breaking out, Todd gets a sidestep around the defense and finishes for 2.
And Todd's had a couple real nice finishes here in the first quarter. She showed one earlier where she went around the back, down the lane, and now this one as well. So some creative scoring from Todd.
Grant on the foul line jumper short. Alexander again cleans it up. Gucker-Wicki, though, rips it right out of her hands. Lincoln passing it around. Look for McGrath again. Here's Granum again at the foul line. This one's going to be short. Again, the fight for the rebound. We're going to draw a foul. And it's going to be a foul on, I believe, Granum. So it's going to be Aruda shooting 2 for Crothers.
Chelsea Aruda shooting 2.
Able to hit the second. Gonna get a sub here. Jaglal's gonna check in. Barbier's gonna check back into the game. Crothers now goes to the man defense. See how Lincoln responds. Hall using the Granum screen. McGrath gets a good open look from deep, and she buries it.
And they went right to the player-to-player offense, went right to the ball screens so they could throw behind. And they had the roll come down and engage that weak side defender. McGrath steps up to the spot, would really stretch the defense.
Right back, Barbieri with the answer.
Haley Barbieri with the response.
Here's Hall controlling, gets over to Granum. Turkstra to Gucker-Wicki down low. Too strong, fight for the rebound. Gucker-Wicki's going to try and save it, but foot's going to be on the end line, so it's going to go back over to Crothers.
Yeah, good ball movement there, too. And you had some of your forwards getting those touches, making those decisions. First Granum at the top, then over to Turkstra, and they get it down to Gucker-Wicki. So ball moves real well from some athletes that typically aren't playing on the perimeter making those decisions.
Crothers breaks through the press. They have numbers in transition. A root of the quick pull-up. It's off the mark. Gucker-Wicki's going to clean it up for Lincoln. McGrath, here's Gucker-Wicki. Hall, a little step back, long two, and that's good.
Haley Hall.
Downs, a little hesitation, gets by Hall, gets in the lane, but McGrath is going to step in and draw the charge.
I'd say, McGrath's a really interesting player because you often don't get players that have that combo, the great shooters that also want to put their bodies in there and just take a charge as well. But she's been proven to be more than willing to put her body on the line here and take the physical contact from Lincoln and also drilling threes at the other end. Nice, rare mix.
McGrath, another three, this time from the corner, just off the mark. Alexander, gonna pull that one down. Pressured there by Maskwich. Outlet couldn't be handled there by Downs. Here comes Lincoln. Malibikua gets the up fake. Then the layup. No good, it's gonna go to bounds over to Crothers with 7. Four now. Here's a little crossover, gets by Ennis and finishes with the left to end the first. Okay.
Grizzle with a huge quarter, and I think that last play just kind of summed up her quarter. Driving down the middle of the defense, getting to the rim, couple creative finishes in there. But I think both teams here, we had probably more fouls than both would anticipate it, but you often come into playoff games, and what you worry about a little bit is are people a little tight, a little hesitant to go, and I think both these teams, both Crothers and Lincoln, came out doing the exact opposite. We had bodies crashing everywhere, chasing shots. We had people taking charges. We had people getting on the floor for loose balls. It was a real exciting and physical first quarter, and I think probably very promising to where the rest of this game is going to go.
Crothers leads this one now by 2 over the 3-seed Lincoln Prep. If you're Lincoln, you have Michaela Ennis, so far with 0 points, last year's league MVP. So Bill Crothers has done a good job keeping her in check. If you're Lincoln, you probably want to get her going so far. Crothers on the other end has Grizzle with 11, but then the next leading scorer is Todd with 5. So you're probably going to need some other bodies to step up if you're Crothers, if you're going to keep at this pace, because it might be unrealistic to expect Grizzle to maintain 11 a quarter pace the rest of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the one that you would probably naturally look to for Crothers in this scenario is probably Callie Wright. But she's now carrying the 2 fouls after the first quarter, so it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with her playing time and then what they're going to do with scoring. If they think Todd can continue to do that, if Alexander's going to be ready to give them some points despite the fact she's seen a double team here in the first quarter, or where they're going to look for some secondary scoring. It'll be a fun second quarter, Max. I think it's going to be a little bit different than the first.
So coming out here to start the second for Crothers, we have Grizzle, Downs, Barbieri, Todd, and Alexander. Coming out for Lincoln, we have McGrath, Ennis, Maskowicz, Hall, and Balabukubo. Here's Grizzle for Crothers. Looks like Lincoln has gone now to a zone defensive look. Let's see if that mixes up some of Crothers' offense. Grizzle again gets in the lane, tries to find Alexander on the block. Ennis comes from behind, though, and rips that ball away.
Yeah, nice job there by a couple of others. I thought Alexander and Maskwich also part of that battle. Everyone kind of getting a hand in there.
Well, behind the back by Maskwich. Kicks out, finds Balabukubo in the corner. Just too strong, but picks up her own miss. Here's McGrath. Ennis has to fire with the shot clock winding down. Maskwich picks it up and gets it out right before the shot clock.
I'd say those are a tough one to finish when you're catching what ends up being an errant shot. An air ball hasn't really hit. You just catch it underneath the rim, then shoot it back over your head. Real nice touch by Maskwich. Great sense of where she was and sense of the clock.
Grizzle probing, going to be fouled there by Balabukubo on the perimeter. It's going to be her second. And I believe it's going to be Martindale checking back into the game as Balabukubo is going to take a seat. We have seen Lincoln throw a few different bodies now at Grizzle to try and stop her early on. We've seen Balabukubo, Martindale, and Hall now. Working with Alexander on the screen. There's Barbieri cutting. Gets Ennis up, 2 on the shot clock, gotta go. Alexander, I think, shot that with her left hand to get it off. Unable to hit rim, though. Ennis is gonna clean it up for Lincoln.
Yeah, tough spot to put your forward. Typically, you don't want to give this someone with their back to the basket, the ball with under 3 seconds.
Downs trying to fight over the screen. We're gonna get a moving screen there called on Martindale. It's also gonna be her second. So some of these wings for Lincoln picking up fouls here early in the second quarter. Here's Todd working off the Alexander screen, pulls it out. They're going to get Alexander a touch with Ennis on her on the block. Rips around right over Hall. Strong move.
I mean, if you can get Alexander in that matchup, that's exactly what Crothers needs. We talked about the quarter break of finding some secondary scoring. Alexander's potential to be that, and especially if they can get her in a matchup where has both the size and strength advantage.
Here's Pachernik. Tries to find a cutting Martindale, but she's stopped in her tracks. Alexander's going to slow this one down and get it over to Grizzle. Grizzle, a little pullback for 3 right in front of the Lincoln bench. Looked like it almost went off glass, but that one's no good. Good job, Todd, there, trying to get Maskwich a touch at the high post, and she's going to deflect that. Pachernik pass is going to remain with Lincoln. Ennis cutting Martindale, quick shot off the screen.
Yeah, there's some confusion there. You can see from Crothers, it almost fooled Martindale. She was so open. She came off that first screen. There's nobody on this side of the floor.
Ooh. Grizzle and Alexander, a little miscommunication. Maskwich is going to come away with a steal and go end to end for the 2. We're going to get a timeout here by Crothers. Lincoln now leads this one 27-25. Coming out of the timeout, they again try and go over the top. Lincoln had that one sniffed out, though, as Balabukubo's going to pick up the steal. Swinging around, Maskwich gets the up fake, but it's going to be called for the travel. It's going to go back over to Crothers. Grizzle's able to break through that double, gets it over to Downs. They have numbers.
Oh.
Going to take the long two. It's no good. Ennis is going to pick up the miss. Gets it over to Maskwich. Good job, right. Stopping her in her tracks. The fadeaway, no good. Alexander's going to clean up that miss. Grizzle, one-handed. Quick pass right over to right. Ennis is going to come over and block that, but great pass there by Grizzle.
Yeah, great pass by Grizzle. Love that. And a nice play by Ennis to get back and get a hand on it to break that up as well, too. But off the bounce, one hand across the floor, hitting her on the run.
Oh. Little miscommunication there on the baseline as Lincoln's going to pick up that steal. As it looked like they were looking for the outlet, but no one was there for Crothers. We're going to jump ball that's going to go over to Lincoln.
Possession stays with Lincoln Prep.
Ennis working on the smaller Barbieri in the post. First one's no good. The follow, though, is good for Michaela Ennis, her first 2 points of the game.
And I like the matchup. You get Ennis down the blocker inside the paint area there against the smaller guard. She's got the athleticism and the quickness off the ground. You just give it to her, and she can create a good look just by jumping over top of the defender.
Woo. Downs just too strong. Gets in the lane, gets the spin off the defender with the turnaround, and it's off glass and in. Maskwich, a little step back right there at the elbow. And so another offensive rebound. She's going to draw the foul. It's going to be Downs picking up her second foul, and Ennis is going to head to the line for her first time. Good job by Michaela Ennis. We've seen a few possessions in a row now hitting the offensive glass.
Second team foul, Michaela Ennis at the line. Correction, first team foul.
Unable to hit from the line. Aruda cleans it up. Gets it to right. Oh. It's going to be Hall picking up her first foul.
Yeah, Hall did a nice job anticipating that pass. She came up there like she was going to steal it, but Grizzle also sensed that and was able to step in front of her and cut off that line. It's a pretty savvy little play by Grizzle.
Jump trap at the top. Good, well handled by Grizzle. Gets the rail in the defense. The floater off the glass, too strong. Maskwich cleans it up. Great outlet by Ennis. Gives numbers for Lincoln. Gucker-Wicki with the spin in transition, no good. Maskwich flies in for the rebound. We got some fight on these boards.
we saw in the first possession of this game, as soon as this thing tipped off, we had both teams flying somehow. And we knew they both have high motors, but here we go. I mean, this is right in Maskwich. Maskwich gets the rebound at this end, has a pass to Ennis, who has the long one, runs down as one to get the offensive rebound too. So, I mean, both teams are chasing this right now. Probably why it's a 2-point game.
Grizzle, no look pass to Downs, cutting baseline. Stop it. Just stop it. And it's right back. Long steps her own way to the rim and draws the foul.
Both teams have adjusted a little bit here to the first quarter. We remember at this stage in the first quarter we were already in bonus, so both have made an appropriate adjustments to get the fouls back down to 3-2. But not giving up, I think, on the intensity or the effort that both teams are giving as well.
And it's able to convert that three-point play, and we're going to get Gucker-Wicki checking out, Cleland in for Lincoln. We're going to get Barbieri and Alexander both checking back in for Crothers. And they now have Ennis at the top, a new look zone for Lincoln, keeps switching up the defense. Hall, a little too much pressure there. Barbieri is going to pick up her second foul.
And it looked like they wanted to come trap from Ennis, meaning Hall had to keep the action coming back towards middle of the floor. And I think Hall ended up taking the foul because she'd allowed the offensive player to get by her and was going the wrong direction.
It's Alexander at 3. Wright, an open look from the wing, and she hits it. Callie Wright's first points of the game.
Callie Wright for 3.
And that was the one we guessed when we talked about, Alexander presenting herself as an option based on matchup, but Wright was probably our first choice of someone that would give them a secondary scoring here to Grizzle.
Smaskowicz, size mismatch, great pass, and Ennis pouring it in here in the second quarter.
Great pass by Maswich. They have the patience to control. It's hard when you have a double team. You want to speed up, you want to rush, you want to get the ball there, but she has a bit of a sense of what's coming, waits for the defense to step up the line, then dumps it underneath their arms. Great pass, great look.
Little step behind the three-pointer. No good. Alexander, though, huge rebound. Jumps up above the defense to shoot that one. Todd, her follow with the left hand, no good. Wright keeping it alive. Chances here for Crothers. Barbieri over to Grizzle. It's Alexander making the moves on Maskowicz. First one's no good. Second attempt, draws the foul.
Yeah, you want to come up empty after a possession like that. You must have 3 or 4 offensive rebounds and a couple different bodies in there earning those offensive rebounds. Alexander's a great move there at the end. It looks like she's going to get a chance for an and one. Just leaves the last shot a little short and rolls off. But a well-deserved trip to the free throw line following the effort on the offensive glass.
Alexander hits the second. We now have a 1-point Lincoln lead here. 4 minutes to go here in the first half. They get to Martindale high post.
Nice read, nice spin.
Just off, too strong. Alexander brings down another rebound.
Martindale felt the pressure there on the outside from Wright, trying to challenge the pass. As soon as she felt that, she just went against the grain. Went opposite of Callie Wright, got right down the middle.
Straight with Martindale guarding. Gets into the lane, kicks out. Here's Barbieri. Gets into the lane herself. Right there for the follow, though, is Alexander. 2 more points.
It doesn't matter, but I'm unsure if it was by design or by chance how Barbieri's pass got to Alexander. It might have been with the initial attempt of taking a shot. It might have been trying to get there, but regardless, it got there, and Alexander got an uncontested layup.
It's Ennis. Quick trigger from the right wing. 3, Michaela Ennis.
Michaela Ennis
Piling it in here in the second quarter.
Great catch.
Grizzle, right, almost fading away on the baseline. Ennis.
Another nice pass. Really, Wright was the one that could make that play, but Wright goes on top of the defender to make that athletic catch, just unable to finish it and convert the 2 points.
One thing we have seen early on here is Grizzle's and Wright's chemistry. We've seen it a few times in transition, these one-handed quick passes that most people aren't expecting to get through, and Wright's usually right on time. The other way we've also, I don't know if we've mentioned, but we've seen Maskowicz and Ennis with some of that also in transition, but with the double team coming to Maskowicz, the backhanded passes to Ennis. And it's something to note how quickly Ennis and Maskowicz have come together with that chemistry, with Ennis only being here half the season. And we got a foul there on Aruda guarding Ennis in the full court, so it's going to stay here with Lincoln.
Ennis has proven to be one of the better weapons in transition in the OSBA over the past couple seasons, so that may not be that bad of a foul, actually. She's about to break out and get going in ahead of steam from her own basket. You just take the foul, take the ball out of bounds, and set up your defense.
Here's Martindale trying to find Granum. Down low, and we're going to get a foul on Wright, trying to reach around to deflect that pass. It's going to be Wright and Aruda both picking up their third fouls on the last two possessions, so they're both checked out now. Alexander's going to have to check back into this one.
Yeah, that's too bad for Wright. That's one they probably really wanted to avoid there. She had done a great job this quarter of staying out of fouling situations. But getting the third is going to put a little limitation on her in the second half, at least early.
Cleland, woohoo! Alexander comes over with the block and then going to draw the foul.
That's a great block, too, because oftentimes, shot blockers will get the things in the shot when they're in the air, out of your hand. But Alexander does that, but it's actually outside of her body, too. It's almost like reaching out to her right. So to track the ball there is a little less natural, a little less frequent. So good job by Alexander finding the shot path and getting a hand on it.
And Alexander probably one of the best in the OSBA with probably like a Latasha Lattimore at blocking the timing of the shot and not usually staying out of foul trouble while picking up these massive amounts of blocks. Unable to hit from the free throw line, and Martindale's going to bring that one down for Lincoln. And Cleveland's going to step out of bounds on that one, so it's going to go back over to Crothers. Downs probing, gets in the lane. Going to be challenged there by Nichols and Martindale. Good defense by Lincoln. It's going to be blocked out of bounds. It's going to remain with Crothers 15 here on the shot clock. Jaglowell a touchdown low, no good. Good box out there by Martindale, able to keep Alexander off the glass. Martindale gets the left hand, little Alexander factor there on the follow. But Granham's going to pull down the rebound, and she's going to get fouled, so she's going to head to the line for two.
Yeah, that's a good rebound by Granham as well. She was on one path to the rim. The ball ends up being a little bit outside of her body, but still gets both hands to it and able to corral it, rip it in, and continue to draw that foul.
Able to hit the second. That's going to be her first point of the game. Lincoln now 3-point lead, a minute and a half to go here in the first half. Grizzle gets the crossover, stops. Going to get Ennis flyby, but it's going to be called for the travel first, so it's going to go back over to Lincoln.
Substitution on the court.
And Maskowitz checking back in here. See if they're going to try and get her involved somewhat on the offense. Get her a touch with Todd on her on the wing. Cleland, contested threes, that's off. Granham pulls down that rebound. Cleveland back to Granham, the foul line jumper this time, and that goes.
Traded, Graham.
Woo! Great pass there, finds a cutting Downs, can't just hit the reverse. They're trying to look for Maskowitz down low with Downs on her. And we're going to get Downs picking up that foul, so it's going to be her third, which is going to send Maskowitz to the line.
Maskowitz does a great job there, stepping into the middle of the key and drawing that attention from the defender to ultimately draw the foul. Instead of just like cutting the space, she really was a presence, I thought, stepping to the middle of the key there and forced the issue and drew that foul.
Foul is on Keontae Downs.
We're going to have a timeout here. Bill Crothers, 27 seconds to go in the first half. Lincoln now leads this one 40-35. 20, 2-second shot clock, game clock differential here. As Grizzle directs traffic for Crothers. Gets a step on Balabukubo, challenged at the rim, unable to go with the left. 9 seconds now for Lincoln. Balabukubo steps around the screen, a step back three, it's short. Hall with the follow, might have been blocked there, it's gonna go no good. So at the end of the first half, we have Lincoln now leading this one, 42-35 over your Bill Crothers Colts.
Yeah, I thought a really entertaining first half from both squads. Both teams battling on the glass, people getting on the floor. Very physical matchup to start, but as this thing continued to progress, we also saw a lot of the skill playing out as well. People getting great passing from Grizzle in transition. Ennis became a bit of a factor in the second, getting herself in a transition, finding places to score. I think the second half will really come down to some of these stars for each of these teams and making sure they're getting touches and opportunities to make some plays.
Yeah, some of that we did talk about. We talked about Ennis not providing a big impact there in the first. She had 10 in the second. We talked about other people having to step up for Crothers, and Alexander and Wright both adding to the score sheet there. So hope to see some more in the next half. All right, and here we go. Big second half. Lincoln Prep leads this one now by 7. They come out with the ball. A quick three, and Michaela Ennis on cue.
Yeah, and that's exactly the start you want if you're Lincoln. You come out and you want both Bryn and Maskowicz and Michaela Ennis involved in this. You get a quick kick out. Ennis gets a wide open look, hits a three, keeps that rhythm going she had from the second quarter.
Alexander finds Downs, gets around. Ennis gets right to the rim. Look for Martindale coming through. They get Maskowicz a touch. Good job. Todd able to cut her off. Kicks out Ennis from the same spot. That one's off. It's going to go out of bounds back over to Crothers.
Love this start for Lincoln. And almost like we said in the last possession, you came down. Ennis gets a good, clean look on it. You end up getting Ennis a second look as well, but the second one goes through Maskowicz, so now she's involved in as well. Both of them get touches and scoring positions, pardon me. And they end up with 2 good shots for Ennis. So good start for the offense for Lincoln. And like we talked about at halftime, I think both teams are going to need their main guns to be big figures here on the stretch. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Crothers get something back now for Grizzle and Wright to be involved in their offense as well.
Tough shot there by Grizzle. It's going to be cleaned up by Maskowicz. Here comes Lincoln getting some movement here on the offense. Pokranick on the wing. Passing down low. Maskowicz spin to the left hand. No good. Todd cleans it up for Crothers.
I thought Hall did a nice job there off the ball. I think she might actually get herself wide open. They might have missed her. Coming from the top, they found a pocket in that defense that I think the Lincoln bench saw as well. So we'll see if they get back to some of that. Maybe they can get the weak side kick out.
It's Grizzly against Pokranick. They're looking for Wright down low. Downs goes same spot. Her floater no good. Tip, Alexander the follow. It's off, but she's going to be fouled. She'll go to the line.
I think Wright was a big part of that whole shot creation. First does the drawing of 2 defenders. Downs gets in behind her, so she gets the first shot tip, but then Wright also gets a hand on that offensive rebound, tips it over to Alexander. She draws the foul, so the hard work of Wright's really earned them some extra shots and free throws here in this possession. I think if I'm Lincoln now, and as I said, it looked like their bench was on this as well, that last time now when they went to the entry to Maskowicz, they saw a pocket on the weak side of the floor. Hall also felt that, stepped through it. They just weren't able to get to the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that same action or something that gets Maskowicz a touchdown low. She's drawing so much attention, and they might be able to get a kick out or cross court that's creating a 2-on-1 situation.
One for 2 from the line. Maskowicz quickly out over the pack to Hall. Ennis going to be fouled there by Todd.
It was a great pass by Maskowicz. You can take that off the glass and you get your 4-person that can take one dribble and throw over top of everybody, getting Hall on step. And Hall did a nice job on the catch as well, too. Kind of went 2 downs, took away that space to make that, her area to get the catch. Makes for a very effective transition. And one more pass gets Ennis on an advantage and draws a foul.
Pokranick working up top. Ennis with the backdoor cut. Hangs in the air to finish for 2 more.
Ennis, even the catch on that one felt like there's like a bunch of arms around her the entire time and just found a way to get that under control, split some of the defense and put that on the glass. Real athletic finish for her. She's just a scorer, and you can just sense it every time she touches the ball.
Todd, little turnaround jumper in the lane, no good. Alexander right there for the putback.
This is a good contribution from Alexander here to start. I still think ultimately Crothers is going to need Grizzle and Wright to be the offensive weapons, but if Alexander can stem some tides or lulls of that as she is right now on the offensive glass, that'll make a big difference and take some of that pressure off those two.
Maskowicz driving on Wright, the step back on the foul line, that's off. Ennis though with the foul and going to draw the foul. Ennis with the rebound, going to draw the foul on Downs, which is going to be her 4th, so she's going to have to take a seat. Michaela Ennis is going to head back to the line.
Downs going to the bench is a bit of a blow, and typically she gets her offense and through hard work, things getting in transition, being the extra piece, but she's probably another one of the first team type all defensive players in this league. Her ability to go on ball and match up with players like Ennis, and it's going to change the dynamic of how Crothers is probably defending a lot of these actions. And you saw there with Downs really go one-on-one on Ennis and not provide a lot of support. And I'm not sure they have another weapon like that defensively one-on-one, and that may cause some different schemes or different tactics involved here for Crothers.
Here's Lincoln in that pressure. Ennis up front. Guckerwicki comes from behind to tip it away. The pass intended for Alexander, and we're going to get a foul there on Grizzle in the full court. It's going to be her second.
Follows on Ariana Grizzle, her second foul, 13 foul.
Looks like they're going to have Grizzle now on Ennis, Alexander on Maskowicz.
And that, it might be the required thing to do. You might have to move Grizzle there because of her strength and quickness to do that, but you probably don't want her doing it for long stretches. She's so important offensively right now to this team. You don't want her exerting that much effort, being in a primary matchup defensively as well.
Alexander cuts off Maskowicz. Ennis the extra pass. Pokranik, Guckerwicki. Ennis just had to get it off before the shot clock.
They did. I think they wanted Ennis to shoot the first one, was probably part of the clock timing, but they did go back to that same thing where they went to Maskowicz back to the 45, and that was the pocket they'd seen earlier with Hall. So they moved Ennis to that spot and did go back and get it.
Right to Grizzle, tried to find a cutting Alexander. Good read there by Ennis, able to pick that one off, and here comes Ennis in transition. Oh, behind the back to the crossover. The pull-up, just too strong. Another rebound there for Wright. Grizzle a little behind the back to the hesitation, gets in the lane, and the floater.
Great
Okay.
finish. That's they needed some more Grizzle. I mean, she was spectacular in the first quarter. They don't need her to be that for the rest of the game, but they do need to be somewhere closer to that than probably what she was in the second quarter offensively.
Maskowicz, good job, Alexander, able to cut her off. Hall finds Ennis open on the corner, though no good. Grizzle cleans up the miss. She's going to be trapped here in the full court, gets it out. Numbers now for Crothers.
Nice job by Alexander. It's not comfortable for some forwards there in the middle of the floor.
Barbieri's trying to find Wright down low, and she's going to draw the foul there on Guckerwicki, so it's going to remain here with Crothers.
It can sound funny, but sometimes forwards can be less comfortable if you get them out in the middle of the floor like that, and there's unpredictability of where all the defenders are running around her. So Alexander's a nice job catching that and relaying the ball over to Barbieri on the wing.
Zaruda going against Maskowicz. Floater's too strong. Maskowicz is going to clean up the miss.
That's where you want Ennis to go. I think it's just like one of her strengths. You don't need to slow down. I think you're just so good in transition there. Keep that going and see what you find.
Maskowicz driving right by Aruda to the glass, but unable to finish.
Good shot, good take. I also liked, you heard Maskowicz there taking control on offense, directing some traffic. Like a little confusion with a couple of players, and Maskowicz just speaking up to make sure people are where they're supposed to be.
Right back the other way. Grizzle's pushing the pace now, trying to get something going for Crothers in transition. She's going to draw the foul there on Guckerwicki.
They need Grizzle. It's a lot to carry, as we said, and that's why I think the Ennis matchup for hers, maybe required right now with Downs on the bench, but less than ideal because of how much you're asking her to do with the ball.
Oh, well, pass fake confused all the defense and then ends up finding Alexander for the open jumper.
Yeah, Grizzle's been done great with the ball so far. I mean, it can seem a little flashy, but it actually was pretty effective. She's able to get the defender to lose sight of where the ball was for a second and then able to move it for an open shot.
They swing around, get a long two there for Hall, and she's able to hit.
I like that one. A lot of times players, so Hall, nice sense. A lot of times players will start to creep out to that three-point line. They get like a magnet for it, but Hall just catches it, shoots it in rhythm. And I think open shots are probably more important than making sure they're three-point shots. And in this case, Hall having to be standing at a two, you just shoot the open shot and make it. Tough one for Alexander there. Tough one there. I think if you're Crothers, you're not going to discourage too much of that. I think most of the action's pretty stationary, so her and Maskowicz are battling a little bit for position, and I don't think you're going to talk her out of that one. You just have to take the tough break on the call and continue to battle.
Maskowicz right down the lane and finishes this one with the finger roll.
Bryn's just so good facing up.
With Ennis on the bench, probably look to Maskowicz to take some of the offensive scoring handle here for Lincoln. She's been quiet the last quarter and a bit.
I think it's a really good timing piece, as you said. Because Ennis has been so effective the last little bit, you don't want Maskowicz to go too long without getting touches because you're going to need them both probably on the stretch, or at least want to have more than one option. So you want to make sure Maskowicz, who was your leading scorer in the first half, doesn't go too long without being involved in the offensive. And Crothers doing a nice job, I think, here, trying to rotate some people out for short breathers. I think I know some of the ones they want to ride here for big minutes in the second half, so they're finding little pockets of time to keep them from getting too stretched out. Do their best to keep them fresh, and one of those is probably right. They're probably finding little snippets in here to keep her going, but they want to get some offensive production out of hers. They need that. They can't go too long with her on the bench.
Just a little confusion there on whether the foul was on Grizzle or Jaglal. It is Jaglal, so it's going to be her second.
Yeah, and if you're Crothers, you probably like that. Jaglal's only picking up her second and probably less at risk. Third. Yeah, less at risk to get 5, and you don't want Grizzle carrying 3 or 4 and having to watch her a little more. So Crothers probably making sure that call is in the correct way.
Good rebound there by Nichols, but then picked off there by Grizzle. Here comes Crothers in transition. Todd gets it. The floater just off the mark. Fight for the rebound, though, is going to be tipped off of Turkstra and out of bounds, so it's going to go back over to Crothers.
I thought Todd had a couple real great shots in the first half that she created on the move. This one, because she was kind of bottled up, just went over top of the defender. Didn't look as fluid as the first two.
Right, with the fadeaway over Turkstra, no good, but follows up her miss. Tries to find a cutting Barbieri. It's going to be tipped away from behind by Pockernick. Here's Balabukubo back to Pockernick. That's going to be tipped, stolen away by Wright. It's going to be tied up there by Pockernick, and I believe she's going to draw the foul on Jaglal, so Pockernick's going to head to the line for 2.
Last possession, I think, for Crothers. Wright seemed a little locked in on the pass and determined to throw it there regardless of the defense played, and usually not a good sign. Once you get locked in, defense is there, and you're trying to force it into a window as opposed to reading what the defense is giving you and probably moving it to an easier spot. Crothers, I think, has enough offensive power that a 10-point gap is manageable within a 10-minute span of the fourth quarter. But that being said, you always want to – it just seems to be a funny mark or funny barrier, that 10-point barrier. If they can get it down to 9 or 8, I mean, only at 11 right now, but 9 or 8 going into the fourth quarter is probably a much better number, a much better feel going into the fourth than it would be if it's at 11 or 12.
Here's with the crossover, working on Balabukubo, gets to the left hand, no good. Nichols cleans up the miss, and here's Hall. Quickly ahead, Balabukubo, her jumper, it's short. The follow is going to be blocked. No, we're going to get the foul drawn on that by Barbieri, so Balabukubo's going to head to the line.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Crothers come back to that high middle screen, though. It looked like that time Grizzle was unable to get it to go. Not a bad shot, but was also drew both defenders. It took the defender off Right, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Crothers come back, see if they can get the ball screen action, either get it to Right for an opportunity attack there or continue to move the ball. But it looks like they had some shift in the defense coming from the high middle, and it's involving the 2 athletes that Crothers probably wants down the stretch.
Unable to hit from the line, but Nichols, another huge offensive rebound. Her attempt's going to be swatted right out of bounds, though, by Alexander.
Alexander makes a great block, ends that offensive rebound, but Nichols still earns the offensive rebound, and they still have possession of the ball. So not to be hidden, and that was the missed free throw still in Lincoln's hands, and still have opportunities to score or draw a foul.
That's 2 second free throws there missed, and Nichols picked up both rebounds. Barbieri comes the other way, gets the steal, is going to draw the foul on Pockernick, so she'll head to the line.
Great steal there, Barbieri. She was jumping on that one from the beginning. She felt that pass coming, was waiting, almost baited them into that, so Pockernick was forced to run it down and take the foul to prevent the easy 2. Those 2 points are free throw attempts that Crothers need it right now.
Unable to go on the second. Nichols working on Todd. Good job, Todd, there able to get her hands on the ball. She's going to force the steal, and it's going to go back over to Crothers.
Substitution report.
We're going to see Lincoln drop back now. Looks like it's going to be zone defensive look here for Lincoln. We get to Alexander. Kicks over. Grizzle now on the wing. Probes. Gets to the heart of the defense. Going to draw the foul there on the reverse, and she's going to go to the line for 2.
Nice job, Grizzle. It felt like the possession had a chance to fall apart there. Alexander's pass to Grizzle kind of missed the chance for an open three-point shot because it skipped in. Grizzle to contain that, and then Grizzle missed Alexander kind of to the middle of the lane, it looked like, for another great opportunity. So took some patience by Grizzle to keep that thing alive and keep going, and earns two shots from the free throw line. But that possession had some earlier opportunities that Crothers probably would love to have back.
Unable to hit for Grizzle, but there's Alexander with the rebound. Right at the defense. Draws a foul, but can't hit. She'll go to the line for 2.
Well, I like the patience there. Alexander had that when you saw her look at the rim like she was going to score immediately, but then had the patience to get into her back down, draw that contact, feel where the defender was, establish that positioning, then go to the right hand. So now she drew a foul and had herself on balance as opposed to the first one where she's trying to race the defense to the glass.
Able to hit both from the line. Here's Ennis quickly out. Swings around. They want to find McGrath. Good job there. Grizzle able to take that away. And then Barbieri with the recovery. Cleveland driving against Barbieri. Gets in the lane. Her layup's no good, but they're going to draw the foul, so she'll be at the line.
You like that from Lincoln. I mean, you've got a situation now where Maskowicz is off the floor. Ennis is on, but they're still doing a little handoff action, and get Cleveland's going to come downhill looking to attack, and it's that aggression from an extra score. Again, I think the importance of Ennis and Maskowicz are of paramount in this fourth quarter, but you can't do it alone. I think Cleveland's aggressive nature trying to find some score opportunities is a big plus there for Lincoln, and Crothers could use an addition like that as well too. Again, they want Grizzle, they want Wright finding some of this. Alexander has helped stem that tide, but if they can find another one heading towards the rim, getting to the free throw line, it would be a big plus.
And Cleveland hits both from the line. Lead back up to 10 here, 1:45 to go in the third. It's Alexander, Turkstra guarding. The Grizzly touch, high post. Used the Alexander screen, hangs in the air off the bank. Too strong. Turkstra pulls down another board.
They're able to get right on Ennis. They got that switch there, Crothers did defensively, and had it down the block, but couldn't get her the ball to see if she could work that advantage.
Ennis working on Wright. Good job, Wright, able to stay in front of her. Cleveland out. McGrath stepped out of bounds, so it's going to be a turnover going back over to Crothers.
I'd say now, I've really had a couple possessions where they've been trying to find a way to get the ball to Wright. Haven't been able to get it there and had to find some other options. So they've got her on the wing position now. We'll see if they can find a touch opportunity for her.
Cuts right to the basket, gets Ennis up in the air, then finishes around her for 2.
I like that one. They stole that one a bit of, I feel like, the Crestwood playbook as well, too. They used to run that one for Edwards, bring her in from the corner for a post-up, bring Wright from the corner for a post-up. Great touch.
Cleveland gets around Wright, kicks out McGrath, a deep 3. No good. Ennis, though, nice fights for the rebound. Nichols able to get a hand on it, and here's Alexander pushing in transition. Goes right at Cleveland, too strong.
Love that Alexander took that.
Right back the other way. Wright misses an easy one. Her follow is good.
Love that Alexander took that one. Cleveland deserves a lot of credit. One of the only defenders back there takes on Alexander one-on-one. challenges that shot, gets a miss, fights to the rebound, can't get it. I think might have blocked the first right attempt as well too, but then eventually just the bodies coming at her overwhelmed her, and Wright does a nice job sticking with it.
You're going to take a step back three here. No rim. Turkstra tries to follow. It's no good. So at the end of that, we're going to have 3 quarters complete. Lincoln Prep leads this one 55-49 over Bill Crothers.
And we had put the kind of magic number. We talked about one of the things you want is it to not be 10 points when it ends a quarter. It's at 6 points. So almost the way this entire game has felt, it's going to be a great finish coming down the stretch. And to reiterate the same point we've been making, I think this is going to be the big time where you need, or the time where you need your big guns to come and deliver. So for Lincoln, you're looking for a big fourth quarter from Ennis and Maskowicz. I think if you're Crothers, you need a big quarter from Wright and Grizzle. And that's kind of what your season boils down to for both these schools.
McGrath, a good look right at the top. That one's off the fight for the rebound. Maskowicz and Alexander's going to come down to Grizzle.
And Lincoln will come out and they'll run some quick hits or a set out of stoppages for McGrath. Usually an elevator screen like that, see if they can get her a clean look. That works this time. They get her a clean shot at it. Just doesn't fall for Lincoln.
They get Alexander on the block against McGrath. Trying to use the size mismatch. Goes right up against her. Going to draw the foul on McGrath. She's going to head to the line.
Kind of two stories there for Alexander. I mean, one, you love the matchup, so they get it inside her to go at the guard. Big versus small matchup. But Alexander, you can see the development and evolution she's had in her time here at Crothers, working that post move, getting towards the middle, spinning back to the right. But still lacking with a guard on her. That last spin didn't really have her coming back to the rim, so she's still fading away. But McGrath gets her hands on her to draw the foul, but probably had the strength and the size that if she got herself to balance and going towards the rim, could have continued to go right through McGrath and over McGrath to the rim to lay that in.
It's both free throws. Got a 4-point game here, ladies and gentlemen. Maskowicz driving on Alexander. Here's Ennis from that left wing three. She's hit one there already. There she goes again.
Great extra pass. Thought Hall was open. She's in a good spot in rhythm. She could have shot it. She probably even a better shot with one more. She makes that pass. Ennis drills it. Real unselfish play.
Barbieri drives right by McGrath to the layup, and she finishes with the left.
Great finish.
Little up fake by Maskowicz. Going to get called for a kick there on the crossover on Alexander, so it's going to remain here with Lincoln.
Kickball, possession stays
Yeah, probably fair. Just try to cross back against the grain, got the foot on it, but you take that for your Crothers as well, too. Make them set it back up, take it back outside.
Here's Ennis, the right wing this time. It rattles out. Wright's going to clean that one up for Crothers. Rizzo looking for the teammates. Too high there for Todd. It's going to go out of bounds, so it's going to go back over to Lincoln.
Yeah, good look there for Grizzle going down. I thought she did have a chance, though, behind her. Barbieri filled in behind. Probably had a space for a good, clean look at a 3 in transition. Grizzle thought she had something at the rim.
Ennis with Grizzle on her. Her defense. Oh, no, she's going to draw the foul there on the attempt. It's going to be Grizzle picking up her 4th, which is going to send Ennis to the line.
Yeah, Grizzle with 4 could be an interesting story as well. She's been a big piece of the offense. She's also a big creator for them. But also you can see often in transition, they're one of the most comfortable making decisions and bringing the ball up. Last time down, Callie Wright had that rebound in transition, and you could just sense her looking and wanting to give it to Grizzle and the trust that they have with her the ball in her hands. So Callie gave it up. You take Grizzle out of the game with the fouls or having to sit because of foul trouble. That could change the dynamic of Crothers.
Here comes Grizzle in transition. Hall guarding on her. Ooh, little Euro around to the basket.
And that's why they love having her with the ball in transition. I mean, it's no secret, no surprise, but that's why I say it could be a really big one. It just changed the whole dynamic of the way they're going without Grizzle. They'll probably, it looks like Crothers going to give her, Downs getting ready to check in. They probably give her a couple minutes here, but I bet she doesn't sit very long.
Todd flies in with that steal. Little hesitation gets around Maskowicz. Dump off to Alexander, and she finishes over the top for 2.
You know, love both of those. I thought Todd does a nice job holding, getting around the first defender. Doesn't rush making that first pass. That forces people to step up and come get her. That makes a nice pass to Alexander, who also does a real nice job catching and finishing strong at the rim.
And Alexander steps in Maskowicz's way. Maskowicz didn't read the defense, drove right through and picked up the charge. Ball back over to Crothers.
Yeah, a little anticipation there by Alexander. Got the better of Maskowicz that time.
7:21 to go. 1 point Lincoln Prep lead, 58-57 over Bill Crothers. So we do have Grizzle on the bench coming out of the timeout. Downs back in, gets around the trap. Going to be doubled there, though. It's going to cause the jump ball. It's going to remain, though, with Crothers.
Yeah, it looked like Lincoln obviously showed some pressure, and they I don't know if they surprised Downs or not, but she got around the first trap. So literally she was fine and free, but then lost a bit of her footing. And then once you lose your footing, you're in big trouble. Maskowicz sensed that immediately, came up and pinned it into the corner. Steal back the possession arrow, if nothing else for Lincoln.
So it is in a zone now for Lincoln. Wright's pass for Barbieri too high. Ennis comes up with a steal, pushing in transition.
Hall, the good extra pass again.
Looks like they did have numbers, though. Might have been too many passes there. Again, Alexander does a great job on Maskowicz. 5 on the shot clock now. Ennis now down the lane. Alexander tries to challenge that. It's going to get her tied up, though. It's going to draw Michaela Ennis back to the line.
Yeah, and you've been bang on here. Alexander's done a tremendous job here in the fourth quarter on Maskowicz in a lot of one-on-one situations and a lot of one-on-one situations facing the basket, which you would anticipate typically is probably an advantage for Maskowicz. But to Lincoln's credit, Maskowicz hasn't forced the issue with that. Alexander got her the one time on the charge. Other than that, she's continued to move the ball, and Ennis has stepped up into that slack. And with Alexander stretched out guarding Maskowicz on the perimeter, it's created a little more space at the rim for them to attack and get there.
It looks like Alexander a little bit shaken up after that last collision with Ennis, so we're going to have Aruda check back in, and she's going to take a seat. Downs gets right down the lane, gets a good look at the rim, unable to finish, but able to corral that offensive rebound. Here's Wright, a good look from three. That's off. Again, the fight for the rebound. Maskowicz is going to come up with this one. The double, though, by Crothers. Great pass.
Wow, Maskowicz to get out of that trap.
And it's 3-on-1, hands off to Martindale, and she finishes with the left.
I tell you, it felt like Crothers had her. They had her pinned down that corner, double team. Maskowicz not only gets the ball out of there, but gets it going forward and breaks them out in transition. So as predicted, they did give Grizzle a bit of a breather, and as we also mentioned before, I think it changes the dynamic of them in transition, trying to get the ball to the court, so they've got to go back to her, and even with the 4 fouls, she's going to return with 6 minutes to go. So Grizzle's going to have to be potentially play a little different here for a couple minutes, making sure she doesn't get stuck in a spot of fouling out because of the importance of her carrying the basketball and generating some of their offense.
Maskowicz flies in for the offensive rebound. Is going to draw the foul. She'll go to the line for 2.
Well, she was all over that one. I mean, Maskowicz almost was too early for that one. Came running down the middle, jumped, and on the way down still was able to tip it to herself to corral the rebound. Good sense of where it was going to be.
Lead back now up to 7 for Lincoln. 6 minutes to go in this one. Todd's going to try and drive right by Balabikubo. Going to pick up the foul. It's going to be Balabikubo's 4th. Staying in that zone is Lincoln. Todd gets a good look for a 3 and buries it from the right wing. They get up the steal, and here's Downs in transition with the left. Too strong. Todd, though, on the doorstep. Kicks out Grizzle for 3, the same spot. Ooh, just short. And it's going to come down with the rebound, but it appears though she landed on someone's foot, so we're going to get the trainer coming out to attend on her. We're going to take a short break as we clear up this situation on the court.
Nope.
So coming out of the timeout, we are going to have Ennis checking out of this one. We'll give you an update as we hear about that situation. But Lincoln now coming out. We have Turkstra checking back in. Crothers in this zone defensive look now. Martindale at the high post. Maskwich in the lane kicks out. Oh. Maskwich thought about the jumper. Didn't go for it, but then got fouled on her way to the basket. So it's going to be 2 shots here for Maskwich.
Yeah, and these going to be a bit of a challenging for both teams. Whenever an athlete goes down, neither side wants that to can be a momentarily distraction. What you really need is just the next play to get going again, and anything really to get the rhythm of the game going back. So I think for Lincoln now with Ennis out and assuming because she was assisted off the court probably for the remainder of these 5 minutes, they're going to have to rely on Maskowicz for a large chunk of their offense, but they're probably going to need a little more production from some others as well. And this game, the way it has gone, you have to assume that Martindale is probably going to be one of the next figures playing prominent in the Lincoln offense.
First one in, second one off as Alexander pulls down another rebound for Crothers. Here's Grizzle now picked up by Maskwich in transition. Maskwich got a hand on it, poked it away. Here's Nichols now. Alexander trailing. Nichols able to finish with the quick feed.
Wow, great job there. Great steal in by McCrowd. Then they will go down and finish. And it's not an easy finish with Alexander bearing down the back of you.
Tries to find Barbieri cutting on the baseline. It's a good play, though, again by Nichols to tip that one. It's going to remain here with Crothers.
Well, they probably want Grizzle to keep that in their hands a little more than taking the high risk. They can't afford to have the ball knocked away or turned over. They probably much prefer to have her getting a shot attempt or creating something that's a little more safe.
Tried to get Alexander posting up on
Great
the block.
job,
Maskwich dives on the floor, picks that up. Turkstra comes up with it, gets over to Nichols. Good play there by Lincoln. Now they're going to slow things down. 8 on the shot clock after speed things up now. Hall using the Maskwich screen, gets it over to Maskwich, driving against Alexander and finishes with the finger roll.
Yeah, and just gets by. We've been anticipating that. If they kept that matchup going for most of the game, the Alexander Maskwich from the perimeter, that we thought Maskwich was going to find some opportunities to get some opportunities to score. And for most of the game, Alexander's done a wonderful job. But Maskwich finally gets the upper hand on this one, gets the lay-in, and pushes this thing to 9. So it's a crunch time now for Crothers. They're a great team. They don't typically go on 10-0 runs. That's less of their style. They more chip away at things. So 9 points is a big ask now in 4 minutes for Bill Crothers.
Coming out here, it looks like Lincoln's going to be in that zone look again. Holland Nichols up top. Downs, here's Alexander, high post looking for right, down low with that matchup with Martindale. It's going to be tipped out of bounds off of right, so it's going to go back over to Lincoln. Lincoln now with a 9-point lead here, 4 minutes to go. Crothers extending the pressure now. They get Turkstra over the top. Flying in to challenge. The first shot is Downs, but no one's there for the rebound, and Turkstra's able to put it in on the follow.
And sometimes when you take the chances in the front court, you're going to give up some things in the back end, and Crothers gives up 2 on that time. It can feel frustrating, but if they believe they can get some turnovers or need to, then they might just stay in this.
Deanna Todd, exact same spot as the last one, and she hits another. So it's 8 here. Crothers trails. 3 minutes to go. Nichols over to Maskwich. A long 2 for her. Jess rattles out.
Good challenge by Wright there.
Wright comes up with the rebound, and here comes Crothers in transition. Little Euro from Grizzle with the left hand.
Great finish by Grizzle. Clearly she deserves a lot of credit on that piece, but I thought Todd actually getting out in transition really helped change the angle of the defender. So she ends up with no touch, ends up with no stats to show for it, but her just being in that spot created a lot.
Maskwich, another good look off the ball screen. That one's too strong. Hall's going to slow this one down.
Need Alexander to get a hand on that one. I mean, I know she's battling in there, fighting a lot of bodies, but you want her to get a hand, keep that rebound alive.
Woo! Good job there, Alexander. Come deflect the pass off of Maskwich and out of bounds, so it's going to go back over to Crothers.
Yeah, and on cue, she redeems that. So I thought the rebounding effort hadn't been her best of today, which has been a total battle for her. She's been a star today, but I thought that
up
last
over
one,
20 rebounds now in the game.
Yeah, and I thought that last one was the first one she wasn't in, but it makes up for it in the next possession, just getting a hand the pass. So. And
looks like they're going to extend the defense here, Lincoln, as Hall's going to pick up Grizzle. There's a little hesitation.
Good cut.
Slings it over to Downs, drives on Martindale, gets over to the left and finishes with the right hand.
I like that coming back to the right for Downs. I thought she got herself almost like she was trying to get the defender to reach a hand back in there, but she feels more comfortable to the right, puts it on top of the rim. Was in control of the body, which made a big difference trying to be able to pick which hand she wanted to go with the finish.
Maskwich now Balabukubo. Crothers continues to switch the screens. Martindale long 2, no good. Maskwich though with good rebound. Alexander on the block, right on the block.
And I thought that was a better one for Alexander. We had mentioned the one before of the rebounding effort piece, and Maskwich did get this one, but I thought, again, you saw her back in that fight, trying to get everyone, made it tougher. And because that rebound was tougher, it allowed Alexander to get that inside position, make a great block, and then Wright falls up with a block as well. I don't know if we're going to check on the shot clock.
I believe it's a shot clock. It had been reset 2:20, which cannot happen as it was an offensive rebound. So we're going to sort out that situation. So it's going to be 5 on the shot clock. Lincoln to inbound. They get Maskwich just touched with the step back, no good. Grizzle comes down with it. It's going to draw a foul there on Hall. It's only going to be the team's fourth, so not bonus yet. It's going to be Hall's 4th of the game.
But it will be, as you mentioned, now both teams will be facing bonus the rest of the way out. So any fouls now, which is a factor, will put the other team to a line. You're getting a 4-point game. Every possession so big. You don't want to allow anyone shooting free throws.
Here's that zone look again by Lincoln. Babukuba went Hall up at top. It's Alexander a touch at the high post. Right, they now find Grizzle a touch on the block. Bodies everywhere. Good job. Martindale able to avoid the foul.
Grizzle does a nice job there getting the seal on the post touch, but Maskwich also senses what's coming and comes down from the top of the elbow position and gets a block on that play. So nice help and nice awareness of what Crothers was trying to get there offensively.
And that we're going to get Downs gets a foul call there, trying to blow through the screen, the handoff action. They're going to say fouled Maskwich as she ran over top. So Maskwich gets to go to the line, and Downs is going to have to sit down with that being her 5th foul. Maskwich hits the first one. Now a 5-point Lincoln lead. 1 minute 15 here to go. It's Grizzle working against Hall. Finds a cutting Alexander on the block. Hangs in the air and finishes for 2.
You know, this is not this would be, I think, probably the 3rd or 4th time we're going to say this game, but I think Alexander deserves credit. She actually takes the patience. Sometimes she's cutting behind the play, and you can get a little lost where you are in relation to the rim. But Alexander's taking her time, ensuring she's on balance, knows where she is. It was a big bucket. She couldn't afford to rush that and did not. Made it, keeps it a one-possession game.
So it's Lincoln ball. They're up 3, 1 minute to go here. Great matchup so far in our third quarterfinal. Cleveland, little jab set, gets around Barbieri, kicks out, finds Martindale open for 3. No good. Grizzle comes down with the rebound and she's pushing. It's going to slow that one down. Gets an open look for 3. It's off.
Tough one. I mean, Grizzle did a nice job with the hands. The defender came late from behind her to dribble out of that and maintain possession. Thought that was nice. It's a tough shot. Typically, when you go full speed, you come down to a stop, then you're backing up, and then shoot it because you've kind of lost that momentum going towards the rim. But love the confidence of Grizzle. It's probably who you want shooting if you're Crothers. Unfortunately, she gets a good look. It doesn't go. Now you got to decide, Max, if you're going to go out there and get one more stop, or do you have to do a foul and stretch this thing out.
Yeah. Martindale inbounds. Here's Maskwich in the corner now with Wright on her. Good job, Wright, able to cut off that drive. 7 on the shot clock. They have to go quick. They both go. Great job. Grizzle steps and takes the charge on Maskwich. It's going to go back over to Crothers, and it's going to be Maskwich picking up her 4th foul.
Great job by Crothers in the back end of that. You saw right at the end the ball screen. She jumped out, put a little pressure on the ball carrier. Lincoln does a real nice job of throwing it back to Maskwich. So now she's in space. They have removed Wright from that matchup. So Grizzle and others have to come over and help out. They get Maskwich caught in a bit of a spin and can anticipate where she's going. Grizzle takes the charge. So great job filling in the back end as Wright took a chance on the ball carrier.
It almost looked like they had done such a good job, and then that last seconds they both went to the ball handler. Both Barbieri and Wright gave Maskwich an open look at the high post. Probably what Lincoln wanted in that set.
Mm-hmm. So now what to look at if Crothers, if you think you take a chance here, you try and get a 3-point shot and tie this thing up, or are you in the philosophy that you want to get something quick and easy, get 2 points, and then play this game out a little more over a couple possessions? And I guess it's a bit of a test. What do you think you have a better chance of doing, or knowing your own team? Can you score multiple possessions in a row and hope that the free throws from the other side make that a little easier for you, or do you think you can make a 3-point shot?
And if it is a 3-point shot, they haven't shot the 3 particularly well today. Todd's hit 2 big ones here from the right wing. Barbieri and Wright have both hit 1, but other than those 4, no one's hit another 3-point shot. Grizzle usually is a threat from out there, but has been off the mark from long range today. So we'll see if Coach Graham does draw something up to get one of those looks, or if they look for maybe a Wright or Alexander at the basket look and then try and extend this game some. They get Wright a touch at the high post. Alexander looks to cut. Wright works to do work on Martindale. 3 on the shot clock. Grizzle contested and is fouled by Hall in the corner. She'll go to the line for 3.
And it was a bit of a tough play there. I thought Lincoln did a tremendous job defending that action. Clearly they were trying to get something to Wright in a high-low with Alexander, but Lincoln did a wonderful job blowing that up. Alexander couldn't get off the elbow down in a spot to score. Wright then decided that she had to go and try to get something at the rim, which looked like the way they were approaching it. they bottled that up and wouldn't let Reich in there. So now you're totally in desperation mode, and they got it to Grizzle, who's going to have to make a play with under 4 seconds. And she did what she could. She got a shot off from that corner spot. But I think Hall had done such a great job defending the pass that she probably ended up a little too much in Grizzle's space. And as Grizzle wanted to take that shot, you ended up having a hand on her that you probably didn't want on her, and led to a 3-point shot. 3.3 free throws.
A foul on the 3-point shot.
Thank you. Yes, fine. Correct. I'll tell you, stepping up and making 3 in a row is no easy task either.
Woo! Ice in her veins.
Grizzle makes that look so easy.
3 for 3. She didn't even hit rim.
Barely even touched the rim. If she did, it would just...
Bam, bam, bam. Okay, we're all tied up. 16 seconds to go.
You know, and like I said, I think for Hall, it's you got to shake this off because it is a bit unlucky. I think that you probably get called for foul because you did so great before the ball got there that you're in a bad position once the ball found a way through. But you got to let that go. I mean, the reality is now it's still a tie game. It's 16 seconds, and you have the basketball. So obviously Lincoln as a team and Hall as an individual is frustrated by that call, but this is time to focus on what you can get done. And you got to think you've come this far. You're looking at Maskowicz here, something that involves her, whether it's getting a touch at the high post and making a decision, or you put her in that screen and pop her out and let her play on the weak side of the defense.
And if you're here supporting Lincoln Prep, let's hear it.
So Lincoln with the timeout chooses to advance it, so they have 14, so a 2-second differential here. They get Maskowicz a touch on the wing. She's guarded by Alexander. Gets a screen. Todd steps in. Maskowicz gets a good look from the free throw line, though, hits it. It's going to be a timeout over to Crothers.
Wow, and big shot. I mean, Todd tries to sell her job of getting the offensive foul. Nice job. He gets someone else reaching in for it, but it's not an easy play offensively. Maskowicz has the presence and the balance to take that contact, absorb it, create a little bit of that space, and then still hit the pull-up. Big shot by Maskowicz, exactly why you gave her the ball in that situation.
Yep,
she had the composure with people running around the beginning. Big shot, big-time play.
A lot of time also, if you hit someone over, regardless of whether it is a foul or not, it usually will mess up the offensive player, at least
absolutely,
either off balance or mentally. Just there's people around your feet.
Yeah, your rhythm's usually off, and Maskowicz
you're worried about landing on things.
This has been just a great finish. Like we said, Grizzle with the 3 free throws down here. That's a tough shot. Although it's tough to do all 3 of those. Maskowicz hits a tough shot down at this end. I mean, now we got time for, I'm assuming, one more shot now for Crothers with 6 seconds to go. And you also have to assume it's going back to Grizzle again, see what she can create.
So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great one. Whew. Clearly, if you're Lincoln, you do not want to foul here.
No, you do not.
So we'll see. They have Balabukubo on Grizzle, Maskowicz on Alexander, and Martindale on Wright in the block. They try and find Alexander cutting. Maskowicz touches it off around the defense. Fight for the rebound. Maskowicz pulls it out. And like that, Lincoln's gonna take this one 74-72 over Bill Crothers.
I mean, what a pass that was too here from out of bounds. I believe it was Todd inbound the ball. There was a great behind the back of the defender pass, and Alexander makes that catch. They send 2 people to her. She actually gets a pretty good look at it, just doesn't fall down, and then
Right on the board.
Wright was there getting a challenge. Maskowicz keeps a handle, doesn't let her get a clean grasp on that rebound, so tips it around a little bit. No one gets a real second chance out of it, but I mean, love the play call, love the pass from out of bounds, give themselves a chance for Crothers. What a great finish.